Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today we're on our last piece of stockpile on this particular paddock. We've got, let's see, we got 134 plus 50. We got about 194 acres north. We're headed that way. And we got, what we're doing this evening is we gave them a little piece of stockpile. And they're also getting some 2-year-old hay that was stored up on post. You can see the quality of it. This is 2-year-old hay that was stored outside. And of course it was net wrapped. It had net wrapping on it. And the cows are really doing well on it. I mean, you tell that heifer she hasn't lost any condition eating on it. And we've got, of course, the bulls are on another farm. We separated those here about, oh gosh, it's been a week and a half ago now, I guess. And we left them at the farm that the whole mob was on. That way we didn't have to haul them. And that worked out really nice. And it's amazing. We did what we call across the fence weaning on some of those bull calves. They're only 7 months old. And we took them out because I didn't want to take a chance of them breeding the cows and having winter calving next year. But the cows took it worse than the bulls did. I mean, there was probably 6 or 7 cows that bawled for a day and a half, but the bulls, they just never even paid attention to their mom. They're just like, we got grass over here. Yeah, you're bawling at me, but I don't really need you. And that was kind of cool. So there wasn't any stress at all on weaning the bulls. This is an older cow. That's a 6, 7, 8. She'd be an 8-year-old, but she's really, she's packing good condition. And this is just a young little black heifer. She would be probably about a half South Pole. There's so now what we're looking at here is all cows, heifers, and steers that have been clamped. So we clamped the steers, the ones that we didn't clamp, and we banded them. And there's no flies. Of course, it's not hot right now, and I just haven't seen any trouble at all. We did give them a 5cc tetanus shot when we banded them. And most of the testicles are dried up pretty well. Looks like, to me, they're probably going to be falling off here in another week or two. And it just works so darn good. This is a perfect heifer right here. Man, she's beautiful. I like that size right there. I mean, that little cow doesn't weigh probably 850. Look at the gut on her. I say cow, she's a heifer. She'll be calving here this spring. And she's just a nice little heifer. She'll give you a calf about that size right there, which I like, 350, 400 pounds, on grass, no grain, no alfalfa hay, and no supplementation, protein licks, or nothing. They just do this all on stockpile. The boys were throwing hay. They threw some hay on top of that cow's back. I was going to show you this little cow. You got to be careful. You can't sometimes just look at cows and say, that's a terrible cow. This little cow here, she is an awful looking little thing. But she's got a bull calf on her that's almost as big as she is. And it's not a bull calf, I'm sorry. It would be a banded steer. We banded him. But he was a nice little bull. His testicles weren't perfectly level, and so we banded him, but she really gave us a nice steer. And that little cow doesn't weigh 800 pounds. And I bet that steer weighs 550. So you can't tell all the time just by looking. And yeah, we went to a workshop at Linnaeus. It was at the Missouri University of Missouri Research Farm. They let us use their community center or their meeting house. That was on last Saturday. And we had a fellow there from University of Missouri. And I'm at the holler at the boy. I forgot his last. It's Jordan. Hey Isaac, what's Jordan's last name? They gave that talk. Huh? Jordan Thomas? Jordan Thomas. He's an animal. He's all about reproductive science, and he's got his PhD, and he's a teacher. He's actually a professor at University of Missouri. And Jordan Thomas, he writes for the Stockman Grass Farmer occasionally. And a lot of these PhD types, they don't have real world experience, I don't think. They're not doing it. Well, he is. He's got his own county. And I thought it was, well, he gave an all-day workshop. And I thought it was well worth the time going up and listening to this guy. He's a young fella, but very passionate about what he's teaching. And it just makes sense, a lot of what he's talking about. And yeah, I'm glad I took the boys, and Jan and I, and we all took Jan took covered dishes to cover our family. Everybody else brought covered dishes. We had a great big meal and sat there and listened to Jordan Thomas talk about reproductive efficiencies and different ways of doing that with your females in your cow herd. And his take-home message was the cows and your heifers that calve early in their cycle, so the ones that calve in those first 21 days, those are the ones you really should be focused on. And the cows that calve later, let's just say you put your bulls in for 45 days, so that would cover you for 2 heat cycles. And the cows that breed in that first heat cycle, those are the ones that are really going to push your herd forward and make you some money. The ones that calve toward the end, in other words, they took two services for them, 2 heat cycles for them to settle. Well, that's a bad trend. That's going the other way already. And the next year they might be open. They may not even breed in that for 45 days. And so, I thought what Jordan was talking about, it just made a lot of sense. And he's got his own cow herd. He's really big into AI, and that's what they do. We don't do AI here, but there's a lot of people that do, and you get all your calves in a very short period of time. We just use natural sire service, and that's what works here, and that's what we're doing. But I just wanted to share that. If you get a chance, I bet Jordan Thomas has got some stuff on YouTube. You can probably Google him, but very sharp young fellow, and we're very fortunate to have him here at the University of Missouri, and teaching common sense, good stuff. So I hope we can get more grazing type research and teachings coming out of the University of Missouri, because we have a beautiful research farm up there. And back in the day, it was the leading one in probably the world. We had Jim Garish, Fred Martz. There's a whole host of professors up there. Ron Morrow. There's a guy, Kevin, I forgot your last name. Craig was there. I don't know, there's 6 or 7 professors up there. And there was people coming from all over the world into those grazing schools. It's a beautiful center. I think they've got 12 or 1,400 acres of grass up there. And, I just hope Jordan can get more, maybe that going up at the university, and get more interest back in getting animals back on the land that'll make us some money, and this bigger is better thing, getting everything bigger. It's not always the path to high profits. And I know the packers want them bigger, but the poor cow-calf guys that are trying to raise those monsters, he's the one that's going broke. And I heard a stat the other day. There's one of the big beef magazines. They're losing $578 a head right now. Did you hear that? Cow-calf producers trying to raise these monster cows with monster calves. $570 some a head loss. Now, why would you own cows if you're going to be losing over $500 a head? It doesn't make any sense. And that's because they're not focused on, you know, animals that can make it solely on forage and hay. I mean, this is just plain old hay, folks. There's not anything special about it. But look at the condition on these cows. They look good. You know, they're going to start calving here in 30 to 40 days. Well, 1st of April. And this is March 4th. Wintered them without any supplement. I see a lot. I went by a guy last night. He was at the feed store, and my gosh, his flatbed was full of cattle bags of feed. And he goes, well, you know, you got to feed them. I'm like, well, yeah, but you don't have to feed them grain. Feed them grass or hay, you know, something that's not going to break you so bad. But yeah, anyway, I'll get off that. It aggravates me to see producers out here going through the motions and they're not making any money. It doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. The boys are bringing that last bale back over here. And what we're doing is we're giving little pieces of strip. There's a piece of stockpile right down that we gave them tonight. That's how good this 2-year-old hay is. They're munching down on this hay. And they haven't even found that stockpile yet. But we're giving them little bitty ears of stockpile, and we're trying to buy time to reach April. And if we can get to April, we're going to be fine. There's already starting to be some green showing up here. I noticed the other day, I found some clover. There's some. It's starting to come. And today got up to 72 degrees. The boys and I and Jan, we spent all afternoon, or morning and afternoon, putting in spawn in shiitake mushroom logs. And I think we're at 470 logs now in 2 days. So we're knocking them out. We still got a pretty good pile to go, but we're knocking them out. And you get 4 or 5 people working at it, it goes fast, or it goes faster, I'll put it that way. Folks, everyone have a good one and have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time down the road. Everyone be safe and hit that subscribe button on the way out, and y'all take care.